Okay, so in the video before, I discussed uh, one that I was communicating. I was responding to a comment that somebody actually put on my on a video of mine, and he discusses luck and karma, and he basically was just kind of like reflecting on something that the way he processes things. That makes sense. But he said it in a way that made me go, huh, because it's true, karma does actually give you just whatever you reap, you sow, right? But then I was like, can we gamify karma? And does karma repay you with luck points? Karma and luck. All right, so the reason I'm fascinated by gamification, the reason for that is because I really think the world is a game. Everything in front of you is a game. Eat this mushroom, poisoned. Eat this mushroom, I don't know, whatever, man. Some people have like they go into higher dimensions and shit like this. Ah, wash your clothes, clean. Don't wash your clothes. Dirty, smells bad, sickness. All right. Slap that guy in the face. You get punched. Go say hi to him, be nice to him. You make a friend, right? There's if else statements. It's a programming thing. It's just like if you do this, this might happen. These are my options. If you do this, these are my options. And then there's kind of like this like hidden rule where you kind of like the more good you do, the more good you see. The more bad you do, the more bad you see. And with the karmic rule is the give and take and the seven hermetic principles. I think I should actually like make a proper video about them and how I actually see them. But the seven hermetic principles, basically, one of them is like, whatever you give, you return. It's the law of karma. And I was wondering because how do you cash on karma, and is that actually a possibility? So let's say I have been, let's agree to something. You, karma is you, but it's not really you right now. It could be you from previous life. It could be the soul. We don't really know. But if I were to reflect on myself, I can be like, I was an asshole that one time. That's probably going to be negative karma points. And I was a good person one time, or nice, or just I went out of my way. That's positive. And naturally, the intention behind it has to matter, or else what the fuck everyone would like do good deeds. That's why like most people feel guilty and they just like throw millions on charities, even though most of the people working in the charities take the money, but for them they feel better. So like I really feel there's a balance there, which I am not familiar with, and I don't think anyone could be familiar with. But the comment was about luck and how sometimes he understands that he is going to be lucky, mainly because he is kind of cashing out. And he's like, I know gambling, for example, is a luck thing, but every once in a while, when you're feeling lucky, there's a high chance you are because there's kind of like that vibe around you. That's what I related to when he was actually like when I was reading the what he wrote about. But it instantly made me think maybe there are the positive karma points could be cashed, and normally karma is comes to you in least expected ways, and then we can say like when I'm lucky, it's not expected, so I call it luck. But the reality is you've been doing good for so long that you earned these extra luck points. And then I started thinking if we were to actually kind of like if I were to gamify this luck thing, if I were to gamify doing good, because for me, what I want to do is I want to gamify society. And again, consider society and consider that the person that's, and especially like we could actually go on right now, how people are representing themselves in the world through the internet, how we have to show consistency and be strong and show evolution and show all the traits that are required for people to want to work with us. And as that starts happening, then what effectively we'll be doing is we're leveling up, we're winning the game of society. And then we get hired, we get better contracts. So the harder we work, the more skills we build on top of, we get better contracts, and it is a game. It's just every person has to figure out what this game is. Every single person in every field, and every field, like there are fields that have structures, and there are fields that don't really have structures. And the new upcoming fields kind of like require you to compete with everything and everyone. As much as I don't know, I think like competition is very valuable, but I also think it's like it burns your energy for no fucking reason because you could be the best heart surgeon in the world, and if you kind of like are a douche, maybe some people would just rather die. I've seen people just be stubborn because they never like the other person that's doing them a service, regardless of what the service is. And that's where people get hungry for power, right? They start kind of like reflecting on themselves in a very like intense way because they're needed, they're demanded. They have reached a certain level in the game. So for them, they feel like they have conquered it and they have won. It feels like, it doesn't feel like it, but it feels like we can apply the laws of karma on how we engage on our day to day activities. And we can actually find a way to keep score and consciously, intentionally make the decisions. And here's a thought. Because I, on a daily basis, I'm always trying to push towards like at least 5 minutes of music, 5 minutes of reading, 5 minutes of Japanese. Now I have to get more serious about the coding part because my business is moving. Over the past 2 months, I was more in a research mode and trying to understand what I have to do, and then writing and all kinds of things. And it seems like I could actually communicate my efforts and request things pertaining my efforts. Because once I actually, for example, finish the website, what I do is I take this website and I go and I start talking to different restaurants and I start trying to sell it as a software and have people on board on it in order for us to engage with them. So I go to them and I go like, okay, so let's do this. Let's start working together in order for me to like expand my company and to allow you exposure. What effectively I'm doing is I'm cashing in on the efforts by that exposure. And then I have effort on that exposure that I can cash onto later on. And then with every stage of the company's growth, what effectively I'm doing is I'm building something in order to like get something in return later, and then build something for that something that I'm getting in return in order to get something more in return. And that's growth, right? But I can do the same with myself. I can do the same with all my skills. Like if I'm learning, I'm doing music every 5 minutes, 5 minutes every day, sorry. After like 2, 3 months, I have to kind of like look at myself and be like, okay, so this is the skill that I earned from putting in the effort. And we can apply the same thing for karma. Because if you're doing the positive things in life, then they pile up in a way for you to be able to cash them. It's either a skill, it's either familiarity, it's either love, it's a character, it's pride, it's charisma, it's family, it's health, it's love, all of them. And what if sometimes we're building like, what do you get out of just being a genuinely good person? You have points, karmic points, that you need to actually cash. If you don't cash them, they might go rotten. I don't know. It's funny because most of the time, like, it's the nice people that get the shitty end of the stick. And it's the saying that says, it's the needle that stands out is the first one that's hammered down. The nail that stands out is the first one that's hammered down, right? And ultimately, it's the people that are actually doing change are the first people that are like the people that are doing good in society are the first people that are hired, and or they're basically taken. They're noticed, are taken. And if somebody's not really like is doing good, but is not really doing good for the others that don't want that to happen, they would basically like take them out. There's also the side where it's like society doesn't really want to change, and the devil will ignore you as long as you're not doing something right. Once you start doing something right, then the devil basically comes and starts messing with you and giving you anxiety and playing with you and all kinds of shit. So all these sayings are rooted in something bigger. And I feel at the very least, if we are to like consider why we're doing what we're doing and the intentions behind it and where we would like our goals to be, then ultimately we have to consider every action we're doing as a cashable point, as something that we can cash in the future, towards, cash into. Like an earn, we're earning them to use them in the future. And I think we also could set intention. And I was inspired today because, like, maybe we can use them as luck points and be like, all right, I'm ready to get this thing as a lucky break. And then suddenly, pop, why? Fuck it, because you truly earned it. And everything around you is actually gamified. I'm getting fucking chills. This is intense. I need to think about this more. So I'm just going to circle it here and I'm going to have this conversation on a deeper level with the guy. Thank you, guys.